Welcome to Facts and Smiles.
I'm Max.
And I'm Miles. Sit back for a while. Let's get into the pod.
And also grab your favorite snacks.
We should jump into it.
We should.
The titles are so good.
So
I love
good.
the titles.
Yeah. Liquidation of anachronisms. So when we left off, Mark had just said goodbye to Bill the Blizzard. As Bill the Blizzard says, hey, you better get out of here. I'm just going to tell you one more time, you should leave. And then that's where we left him. And then we leave off with Jane, where she doesn't want to have kids. She's leaving the Miss Ironwood. And then Mrs. Dimble calls her and says, hey, can I come over? And we find out that the Dimbles have gotten kicked out of their home because Nice is coming in. They're taking the property. They're booting everybody off. And Edgestone is kind of, the people they don't like it. And then we get, I knew as soon as, okay, it's funny because the last time we were here talking about Bill Blizzard Hingest, I was thinking, because I didn't remember this, but as soon as I read it, I remembered it. But beforehand, I had forgotten that he gets killed. But I've been thinking, surely the Nice is going to pop him off or keep him from leaving. And when
It's really ominous.
yeah, when he was able to leave, I was thinking, surely something happens to him, right? And then as soon as Jane has a stream, I remembered, yes, they do kill him. And when she's having the stream, she doesn't know. But yes, so the upshot is Hingest is murdered by the Nice.
Did you
And
read 4, 5, and 6?
yeah,
Shoot.
what?
I read through 7. I bet.
That's okay.
I was like speed reading. Okay, I was on the wrong page.
It was hard to stop though, but so yes, we're getting different glimpses of the Nice, and now this one is, this place has nothing at all to do with science. This is a shadowy organization. The fact that they just killed somebody who didn't like what they were about and wasn't going to join them means there's something else going on here. We don't know exactly what yet, but we're getting more and more layers. And then obviously, throughout these next 2 chapters, we see a lot more, but this is just the beginning.
I think Mr. Dimple says, like, it's almost as if we'd lost the war at one point.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what we were saying before,
Right.
where it's like literally fascism, and it was published in 1945.
Exactly.
Set in 1945 too. But yeah, and then Mrs. Dimple has a line, kind of a bar where she goes like, "Do humans even like being happy?" Because
Oh yeah.
yeah, just seems like.
Yeah. A little melancholy is good.
Mm-hmm. And then she isn't even. Oh, she tops it with the next. A little bit later. She's talking to Jane. Jane getting distracted.
I know you're going with this. Yeah.
She goes, "Husbands were made to be talked to.
Yes.
It helps them concentrate their minds on what they're reading." Like a weird.
I love it as a quip, but man, oh man, I would not want to be that husband or that wife. I want a wife I'm going to actually talk with. But I love like the old fashioned, like, oh yeah, I talk to him, like smoke his pipe. I love that vision. But that's not at all what I'm looking for.
It's the little things in this book where it's like
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I love that part.
And then Mrs. Dimple prays. They move in together.
And she gets really uncomfortable about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. We see that. So Jane's very uncomfortable being truly feminine, and she's also uncomfortable about the spiritual and the religious and the mysterious in her own powers.
Which we also find out that Mark is later on. But
Mark is
like uncomfortable.
Oh, I thought you meant having visions. Yeah, no,
Oh.
absolutely. Yeah, right. He doesn't. Well, that's funny because right after that, he's talking with Strake, who was nicknamed the Mad Parson by Hingest, and Strake is this harbinger of doom for the Nice, and no, not doom, but harbinger of doom for those who oppose the Nice. You know what?
Yeah.
He's preaching and the funny thing is, he's painted as the Mad Parson, the crazy guy, but he's saying the quiet part out loud. This isn't a scientific program. This is a religious quest to cleanse the earth of the unwanted, the unfit, and to usher in a utopia, to usher in heaven on earth. He speaks vaguely about resurrection and eternal life and judgment, and that's the real underlying motivation behind all this. It is a religious cause, not a scientific cause.
And he's doing this like moralizing thing, where he's saying like, look at all these like religions and all of the religious people and look at how evil society is.
Yes.
Right. Like it's also fallen and failed.
Mm-hmm.
We are like the true religion here at the NICE.
Yes, he says that religion has sidetracked and emasculated the teaching of Jesus and turned into priestcraft and mysticism, the plain demand of the Lord for righteousness and judgment here and now. The kingdom of God is to be realized here in this world. And that's the call of Satan. It always has been, to realize utopia on earth. That's what Marxism is. That's what every year, in a sense, what fascism is, that we will establish heaven on earth.
And he says I have to ally myself with the materialists and the communists because they're the only ones who will listen. But yeah, and he's speaking like this Christianese, like making it sound
right,
like it's associated with Jesus.
And he says there will be violence, and we won't be deterred by that. There are going to be those who won't repent, those who are going to fight tooth and nail against what we're doing, and don't think for a second that we're going to be scared of enacting violence on people who oppose us. He says it is no part of our witness to preserve the sin which is called society. Because Marx is like, well, what about society? No, that's sinful. We're here to bring in utopia. And he says science is an instrument of judgment and healing. Yeah. The readiness to sacrifice. Yeah, he says what makes this the true religion is that we're willing to sacrifice every human value. We're willing to sacrifice everything to establish utopia. We're not here for these sentimental things called humanism and charity. We're here to sacrifice everything to establish utopia. That's why I know our cause is the right one, because we will sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then Mark gets his first job. He's writing like a hit piece on the like small town.
Right.
That Nice is trying to take over.
Yep. Well, really quickly, this you mentioned how he's uncomfortable with religion. At the name of Jesus, Mark, this is such a fascinating line, who would have lectured on abortion or perversion to an audience of young women without a qualm, felt himself so embarrassed that he knew his cheeks were slightly reddening. So that line packs a punch. So he's embarrassed at the name of Jesus, which is fascinating. And also, he's the kind of guy who would have no problem talking about perversion or abortion to young women.
Yeah.
That would not be a problem. So it shows that his
morals
are...
morals.
Yes. Yeah. His morals are it. No, it's questionable. His morals are questionable. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating that he's embarrassed. Why are you embarrassed in the name of Jesus? Why are you turning red? Mm-hmm. It's maybe because it seems so childish. Why are you talking about this? This is kind of awkward.
Or even just like you're at work and this like guy who is kind of a little bit crazy is talking to you about religion.
Right.
Like,
something you think is childish. Yeah,
Dude, I had this guy at work who like he was chill. We were talking for like an hour or two. They stretched on. Mm-hmm. This is my last job.
Yeah.
Where you're working with someone for like 10 hours at a time, and then like halfway through, he starts just going into like full like Billy Carson mode, where he's like just talking about how like our technology, like we're not actually coming up with it anymore. It's angel technology, like the sixth and 7th gen Wi-Fi is going to be like ushering in the apocalypse. And I'm like, where do I go with this? Like, what do I say? It's so...
Yeah.
Because this guy, he was chill. Like, we've been talking for hours. And then he gets into how like UFOs are becoming more common because like the government is sending out signals and whatever, and they're covering it up, and it's like I tried pushing back a little bit because like that's like the genuine like honest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Not good at that. It didn't. Yeah. So there. Maybe
it's kind of just like awkward. Yeah.
Really awkward.
Yeah. So then Wither announces to them that Bill's dead, and it's interesting because we see that there is in fact an inner ring, because he doesn't say anything about, oh yeah, we did this. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's dead. It's very sad, etc., etc., etc. And so there's no mention of it, and Mark doesn't even seem to think something is afoot. He just kind of thinks, oh, okay, that's too bad.
Yeah.
And so does everyone.
He can't conceive that the organization is
No.
that bad.
Exactly. So then we go back to Mrs. Dimple and Jane, and oh yeah, Jane. Because remember, she had left Ironwood, and come on, I'm not doing this vision stuff. What's going on here? You join your team, give me a break. Mm-hmm. She runs into Curry. Curry tells her the news, and it hits Jane that, oh, wait a second, I actually do have prophetic visions, that what I saw is exactly what happened, and so she kind of freaks out.
Yeah.
And again, she doesn't want to get mixed up in everything. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but now she's kind of freaking out. So then we go back to what you were talking about. So
Mark's writing.
Mark and Kosser. Kosser gets him, hey, let's write about the town.
Oh, it's Kosser?
Yeah. No, first it's Kosser.
Thought,
the ferry is the riot thing.
No, because the British guy says Casa. That's why I just spelled it.
It's Kosser. He speaks British, Casa, Hastreta,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were going to say anything about this part where they're writing about the town, because there's something in here. There's something in here that I love in this interaction.
The whole thing's good. This is before the dinner, still.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have anything yet.
So I think it's later they talk a lot about it, but I think they touch a little bit on it here where he says the population is undesirable. It consists of two undesirable elements: small, is it rentiers or rentiers? Rentiers and agricultural laborers.
Is it italicized? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Rentier. Yeah, rentier. And then Mark says, yeah, bad element. And Kosser says, the Institute does not approve of the agricultural laborer. He's a very recalcitrant element in a planned community, and he's always backward. We're not going in for agriculture, yada, yada, yada. And the theory touches on this part later, but the idea of, I love this, the idea of the common man, just a sensible person, is the real threat to organizations like this. It's not the elites. It's not the well-read people. It's not the well-bred people.
Yeah.
It's just Farmer Bill, who these pieces of, I'm not selling my farm. I know what a woman is. I know what a man is. I'm just common sense Bill. And they're the people that have the greater opposition because they know what the truth is, as opposed to these elitists who get so caught up in their own head they can be easily manipulated. But we'll touch more on that later. This is kind of a little bit there. And when they're going around town, Mark just really likes how pleasant the village is. It's just very nice. It has various elements to it. And Kosser couldn't care less about any of that.
And Mark even tries to say something like, it's really nice. And Kosser misunderstands it. Like, he cannot comprehend that Mark genuinely enjoys just the small town.
Right.
Grabbing a beer with the laborers. And
then when Mark sees that, he just all of a sudden feels this hatred for Kosser. Like this idiot, stupid little man. Which I think is showing that Mark does have a sensitive side to him. And we're talking a lot about masculinity, and it's important to have with the side that Mark shows being more sensitive to nature and beauty and just simple things. Whereas Kosser is totally mechanized.
Yeah.
The beauty, that doesn't matter. No, we're here for industry and progress and science, and this stuff is not efficient. He's lost the sensitivity. Okay, so then
he goes to dinner and he's really enjoys it. He's having a great time.
Yeah.
He's getting taken in. And then the chapter ends with machine gun fire.
Oh, we go to Feverstone and Curry, and Feverstone says, hey, by the way, Mark's done with his fellowship. He's going to be in the nice. We can find someone else to replace him. Curry is very fascinated by this. Oh, sweet, I can find someone new. And then, machine gun fire.
They're talking about, what, Liam? What's his name? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Glossop? Laird. Liam. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't do well in school.
Yeah, and so we see right. Laird seems very much like just a malleable pawn, and meanwhile Mark is still debating nice or Bracton. I don't want to burn my bridges either way. I kind of want to retain my ability to do both because he still doesn't know what he's doing for the nice or if he wants to do it.
And he's also just scared of he's scared of the sacrifice that comes with making decisions.
Right, exactly, yeah.
He's just very.
Which is also what true masculinity is, being decisive.
Yes.
And assertive. Yeah. Okay, so then this is interesting. So Mark goes back to Belbury, and he goes up to Coster's office, and Steele and Coster are both there, and they kind of give him this look of, "What are you doing here?" And Mark's thinking that he's going to work with Coster on the report, and he talks to them about it, and Coster kind of plays it off, and then Steele says, just get out of here, basically. Don't worry about what you're doing. Coster's busy, you can leave. And Mark says, okay, what am I doing? Who am I reporting to? What's my job? Explain it to me. And Steele flips him off, and not literally, brushes him off. And Mark says, hey, I asked you a question, pal. He gets turned away. He looks to Coster for, hey, can you help me out here? Coster just ignores him, and then Mark's fed up. I'm done with this. And so he goes to the DD, and
storms into his office.
Basically is coming to tell him, hey, lay down for me in clear, precise terms what my job is. And DD's kind of confused. Oh, well, yes, everything is here for the best, and
DD's speech is it's poetry.
It's
so well crafted.
Yeah. Nothing but the best, and we're like a family, and yada yada. And then if you want to talk to me, talk to my secretary. And so then here we go, yes. The discussion with the fairy, which this is where C.S. Lewis cooks, and this is where I know he'd be on my side today on everything. He is spitting bars in this section, absolute nukes. Okay, so the fairy and him. So
she says the real work is done by the police.
Yep.
Everything else in the NICD is just propaganda.
Yes. Don't worry about Steeles and Costers. You haven't realized what you're in on yet, and you have to be in or out. There's only two things here. Once you're in, you're in. If you're out, then she kind of hints that you don't want to be out. Hey, make your decision carefully kind of thing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wither does not like people talking about leaving.
Exactly. And then she says, here's where the real work is going to be, Alcazan. So we're going to get an article. We're going to say that there's prejudice against him. We're going to try to gin up pity for him and sympathy for him.
I love how she calls it rehabilitating Alcazan.
Exactly. Yeah. And made into a martyr, a loss to the human race. Okay, so then here we go. This is the part we're touching on later. Spitting bars again. He says, well, how can you fool people who are educated? Educated people read the papers. And then she goes, it's the educated reader who can be dulled. All our difficulty comes from the others. When did you meet a workman who believes the papers? He takes it for granted that they're all propaganda and skips the leading articles. He buys his paper for the football results and the little paragraphs about girls falling out of windows and corpses found in Mayfair Flats. He is our problem. We have to recondition him. But the educated public, the people who read the highbrow weeklies, don't need reconditioning. They're all right already. They'll believe anything. The common man is the one who is hard to be swindled. And he has the common sense.
It ties really nicely into Jordan Peterson saying, I don't know if this is Jordan Peterson, but if you're smart enough, you can defend any argument. You can, and really, if you have a big intellect with little humility, your intellect is just going to lead you around in circles,
right?
To an open feedback loop, right? The common man they're constantly bumping up into reality, and they can't fool themselves easily.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in your ivory tower of university, it's your theories just float around in the void. They're not bumping up against reality, and when reality can't kick back, your theory can just be whatever you want it to be. Your argument, the more complex the argument, the better, right? And the more flowery language it takes to expound it, the more intellectual you must be.
I like that image of bumping up against reality. I think it goes back again to the farmer, right? The farmer who wakes up every morning with the chickens and the cows and the pigs, breeding the litters, milking the cows, killing, whatever, all this stuff. Like, he's bumping up against reality every single day. He's growing, he's nurturing, he's breathing. Like, he sees the reality of the world. He sees the reality of the sexes. Whereas, like you're saying, the people in the ivory towers, they haven't touched a piece of real fruit in their lives. Or a blade of grass, right? And I know that's an extreme example, but what I'm saying is, when you're so... It goes back to, oh yeah, that was another line. Who was it that said it? The problem is... oh, it's Hingest. Yeah, again, good line. He said, what we need to do is get to know people. The problem comes when we study people. When we study people, we abstract ourselves from reality. We get these big, grandiose ideas about the way things are. We think about in theories and equations and facts and figures instead of talking with our neighbor down the street. When you know people, when you interact with reality on a regular basis, you have the common sense. You may not be able to verbalize it, but you do know it. And I think that's just it's so true that
And Mark is an intellectual. Like we
Yes.
get a line about him where he's just like he can be like friendly with the people in what is it like Belltown? Bellbury. But also like he believes the data and the statistics about a place more than he believes his actual experience there.
Yeah, wait, that was a really good line. I think that was if I can't find it, it's fine, but I think it's
It's towards the end of chapter 4.
yeah. Yes, here we go. So he's looking at the village, the pleasure in it, and he says, it did not quite escape him. The face of the backward laborer was way more interesting than Coster's, and his voice a great deal more pleasing to the ear. All this did not in the least influence his sociological convictions. Even if he had been free from Bellbury and wholly unambitious, it could not have done so, for his education had had the curious effect of making making things that he read and wrote more real to him than things he saw. Statistics were the substance. Any real plowman or farmer's boy was the shadow. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying. Yeah.
By the way, the idea of like bumping up against reality and reality kicking back, that's from Karl Popper.
Legend, of course.
Yeah, the goat.
The KP himself. Yeah.
So then we get the meeting with Withers. With Mr. Wither.
Wait a second. I just want to see if there's something. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. Yes, and then Wither's demeanor has changed. He is.
He doesn't seem like he's on Mark's side anymore.
No, he has a very. He's still kind of vague, but you can tell there's kind of a more It's kind of eerie. There's this vaguely menacing air about him. Like, you crossed me, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't explicitly say it.
Because he doesn't explicitly say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Every air about him is vague.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's later actually. That's later. Right now, he just wants to get the details, and this is when the DD's getting uncomfortable, or like he doesn't really like what Mark's doing, and so he gives him a form that you can fill out for a job or something, and then Mark gets the letter from Curry saying, "Oh, we heard that you're resigning your fellowship. Too bad about that. Also, this Laird guy, can you tell me about him?" And Mark freaks out because he just had this interaction with Wither, and he's kind of just, what am I doing? Why am I here? And now that he's about to not be able to make a decision because he wants to have his cake and eat it too, now that he's confronted with, oh, you're going to lose the fellowship, he freaks out. No. I actually want the fellowship. Yeah. And so he writes to Curry saying, hey, I don't know where you got that idea from. It's not true. The fellowship is still mine.
He spends a long time
trying
to write
forever.
the most like elusive, vague letter he can.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing he concretely says is that he's not resigning his fellowship.
Right. And so then when he leaves, he notices that people are seeming to avoid him and give him this weird air, and he can sense that he's done something wrong and he doesn't like it.
It's like this Mean Girls thing. Where it's like just the social pressure.
Mm-hmm. And oh yeah, here we go. He runs into Feverstone and he says, why did you write that letter? And the first he tells him about his interaction with the deity, and why is he never clear? Why can't I find out the truth from him? What's going on? And Feverstone just kind of is chuckling and laughing, like, oh, haha, that's funny, tee hee hee.
Yeah.
And then he says, where did you get this idea that I was resigning my fellowship? And why did you tell that to Curry? What's going on here? And Feverstone says, oh, well, don't worry about it. I didn't say that you actually were, but you're definitely going to be in the nice, and this is the place for you, etc., etc. And also, he says, don't get on the bad side of Wither. It seems like you've gotten his wrong side. Be careful of that. He doesn't like that. And then Mark keeps pressing him. Hey, give me back my fellowship. Give me back my fellowship. And he says, yeah, he's like, he really gets in his face. He's like, you put me in this position. Make me get back my fellowship. And Feverstone says, as far as I can make out, you are at present attempting to canvass my vote for your fellowship in advance, because you're going to come up for re-election. Don't worry about it. You'll get your vote. And he says, to which the proper answer is the one I now give, go to hell, which is the most extreme we've seen Feverstone. Yeah. And this is the moment where we kind of see the man behind the curtain. He's presented this air of the benevolent, welcoming, come join our group, prestige and power. And now he turns on Mark and he's the wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't mess with me. Like, you'll do what I say. And he says, because Mark keeps pressing him, and he says, I would advise you, in talking to people here, to adopt a more agreeable manner than you are using now. Otherwise, your life may be, in the famous words, nasty, poor, brutish, and short. Short, said Mark. Is that a threat? Do you mean my life at Bracton? Or the NIC? And then Feverstone says, I shouldn't stress the distinction much if I were you. Which is basically saying, yeah, we're going to pop you off. We're going to kill you.
Yeah, very thinly veiled threats.
Yes, exactly. And so it's funny how this whole thing has just flipped on a dime on Mark. He comes in, he has a fellowship, he meets the guy who gives it to him, things are going well. Oh, the NICE, you're going to have a position there, which is this enterprise that's going to come in, revolutionize the world. It's going to be an amazing opportunity for you. You'll also be at Bracton still. He gets there. What am I doing? Who are these people? What's going on? And now all of a sudden he's at the point of Wither hates me. Feverstone has told me to, stick it, basically. And also, we might kill you. The fairy's also warning him about stuff. He's in a position of, I can't go back to Bracton. What do I do? It's like worst case scenario. Everything's turned on him in less than, a day?
Yeah, and it really, culminates in the next meeting with Wither. Mm-hmm. But we don't get that until after a stint with Jane.
The Denizens.
Mm-hmm. There's another great little detail where the Denizens are like, oh yeah, we like weather. And Jane's like, what? Oh, you like rainy weather? And they're like, no, we just like weather.
Right.
Everyone's born liking weather, and you gradually start disliking weather.
Which I really like that idea, because I've always loved the weather. Rain, snow, everything. And it goes back to the theme of common sense and also touch grass.
Yeah.
Get in touch with reality. That's why today kids and teenagers are so... back in my day. But kids these days and our own generation are stunted because we're constantly on our screens, our phones, our video games. And so many kids today and who have grown up, they never played outside. They never played with sticks or built a fort or had snowball fights. It's just Mario Kart since they were 2. Right. And League of Legends and Clash and everything. And whatever.
You're naming games that are 15 years old max. These are
Apex.
Not kids these days. Apex, there we go.
Whatever.
They're playing Fortnite max.
Yeah, Fortnite, exactly.
Fortnite, Roblox.
Exactly. And
These
so
are also pretty old games.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, when you're out of touch with reality, your growth as a person will be affected by that. Because to be a mature person and to be a sensible person is to come in contact with reality. And when you distance yourself from it as a kid, of course you're going to be emotionally immature. Of course you're going to be more unstable, more anxious, because you don't know what it's like to interact with the real world.
Yeah.
So then, Denizens, the Fisher King, come into our group. They tell her about this prophecy of when there's a great danger hanging over the human race, and then in the final moments or whatever, someone with the power of prophetic vision will just appear on the scene. And so when they find out about her powers, it's kind of a sign of not the end times are here, but the final battle is coming or something.
Yeah, and they say something like, not that we have to go out and find someone with the sight.
Right.
They're gonna appear.
Yes.
Neither we can get them or the enemy's gonna
Exactly. And so they're trying to recruit her, and there's yeah, because Jane keeps thinking to herself, "Don't get taken in, don't commit yourself, don't get mixed up in anything, yada yada." And then there's this moment where they're asking her, "Okay, do you want to come with us? Come with us to see our leader?" And then her husband, Camilla's husband, says, "The head man wouldn't like us to do that. Mrs. Studdock must come in freely." And then Jane says, "I don't want to take sides in something I don't understand." And then Camilla says, "If you don't give yourself to us, the enemy will use you. The words 'give yourself to us' were ill chosen." Jane's body stiffened. If the speaker had been anyone who attracted her less than Camilla, she would have become like stone to any further appeal. So it goes back to vulnerability and being receptive to love, right? To be feminine is to open yourself up to the love of your husband. And Jane has problems surrendering herself. And so in this moment, she has that same issue. And then Arthur makes things worse when he says, "You can't take a leap in the dark. You can't ask her to take a leap in the dark. Although it is a leap in the dark. It's like getting married." He did not know the complicated resentments and resistances which his choice of illustrations awoke in Jane, nor could she herself analyze them. Yeah. So again, he's saying, okay, well, it's a leap of faith to do what we're doing, in the same way that marriage is a leap of faith. And Jane doesn't like that, because a leap of faith implies you're jumping and you're landing, you're going all in, and she hasn't done that yet. She hasn't taken the full leap. She's just kind of walked up to the cliff, and because to fully jump is to actually open yourself up to what marriage is, which is sacrifice and vulnerability and true love and commitment. And she hasn't done that yet, and she feels resentful about like this implication that she's not actually doing what marriage is.
She's kind of like Mark in the sense of like not wanting to commit one way or the other.
Yeah.
Where she's like leaving the door open to maybe seeing the one woman at
Ironwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron. I wanted to say like Stone Castle or something, but that
Similar.
That's the fairy.
Yeah.
Hard Castle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, interesting. Ironwood Hard Castle. And then go ahead.
A lot of there's so many names.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Yeah. But yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. No, she is like Mark. I didn't think about that. That is good. Indecisive.
And then we get back into Mark talking to Wither the second time.
Wait, right before that, they ask about it. They say that the head, who's Ransom, we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
He has old-fashioned notions. He wouldn't like a married woman to come in if it could be avoided without her husband's, without consulting. And Jane says, "Do you mean I'm meant to ask Mark's permission?" And she just does not like that at all. The idea that she needs to get his permission as if she were a child asking to leave to go to a party. And then that's the breaking point for her. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out here. I need to ask permission from my husband to get out of here. And again, just go back to what we were talking about, that she doesn't want to actually give herself up to what marriage is, which is mutual commitment and vulnerability. She's not ready for that.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you saying though?
So this is where, beginning of 6.
Yes, yeah.
Mark talks to Wither the second time, and this is where Wither is
Yes.
like, he's like vaguely hostile.
Yes.
And he, at this point, Mark knows that he doesn't have, like after talking to Fever Stone, he can't go back to
Bragton
College.
No, yeah.
If he leaves the NICE, like that bridge is burned for him. And so now he's like, I have to hold on to this position at NICE. And Withers like raking him over the coals in this meeting, to the point where by the time he offers Mark like just a probationary position for $600 a year, Mark is like, oh phew, like thank goodness.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's also like resentful towards Jane, because he's like, man, I would really let my boss have it if I just
love that part.
If I just weren't tied down by my wife.
It's such a defense mechanism. It's the ultimate. It's a tendency I actually see in myself sometimes. It like to make
wife.
Nice one, to make excuses because so and so would be affected or whatever, instead of just saying what you mean, mean what you say and say what you mean, and
take responsibility.
Exactly. And this moment where he's just, it's so, it is cowardly. He wouldn't actually say that. That's the thing, right? 'Cause even if Jane was not in the picture, he would not say that. Mm-hmm. There's no way he would. Yeah. He's just telling himself to comfort himself. Oh well, I'm letting myself be treated like this because of my wife, and I need to have money for my family. That's not the case at all. He's just too cowardly to say anything. The other thing that was interesting was the description of Wither, where it says that he still smiled, but there was something cat-like in the smile, an occasional alteration of the lines on the mouth, which even hinted at a snarl. Mark in his hand was a mouse. It's very creepy. Like this spaced out, vague old man is very eerie. And anyway, okay, so yeah, okay, then.
Does he talk to the fairy again after that?
Yes. Yeah. So she sees him and says, "Have you done anything about Alakazam?" He says, "No, but I don't know what to do. Am I ready? Yada yada." And then Hardcastle says, "Elasticity. You never will know what you're doing. Your line is to do whatever you're told and don't bother with her." Which is so vague.
It's such a and it's kind of the opposite of what Wither says.
Yeah.
Which is that, well, no, like you don't really have bosses. Like you don't have these rigid positions, because we wouldn't want like your narrowly defined position to get in the way of you just doing what's right.
Yes.
And what's good. And we don't want you to have the relationship of like just having a boss who tells you what to do.
Right, we're a family.
And the fairy just like cuts through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do what you're told and you don't piss off Wither.
Yep.
That's
straight to the point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we get that there's troubles in Bragdon Wood, right? And so because the Knights moving in with these workers, they're creating just a huge ruckus with their building and their construction, and they keep moving closer to Bracton College and taking up more space and kicking people out of their homes, and so there's kind of unrest.
We get this picture of the NIC just like oozing out over the land.
Yes, exactly, taking over everything.
The fog is drifting into.
Yeah, and then the college is in not a good spot because they want to basically take away this one town, and the wind, is it the wind, the river? They want to divert it, and basically it's going to take Nice's territory all the way up to the college walls.
The wind.
Yeah, the wind. And they're losing more and more space, and the people in colleges are not having it, but Busby, the Bursar's like, we can't do anything. Like, Nice is too powerful. And
they're in a unique legal situation.
Exactly.
At one point.
Exactly. And the town doesn't like it either. There was a disturbance. That was the machine gun thing. Indecent assault, beatings up, but nothing ever appears in the actual paper. Everything's kind of just ignored, swept under the rug. Jane has a dream about this guy in Pince-Nez, with a pointed beard studying her as she dreams, and she doesn't know what it's about. We find out later. Yeah. But so then we get to Mark and the rehabilitation of Alakazam, and so what he's going to do is make him look like he's what was it? Yeah.
Like the victim.
The victim, yeah, and treated badly. Okay. Curry, Hingest. Oh yeah, the funeral. which was the funeral scene is funny when the story the pastor is solemnly talking about he was a good man, and then in the background it's get your bloke off my foot, or whatever, just cussing and beating up and everything, and like
the Irish people.
Yeah. Tighter, that kind of thing.
And the priest is just completely shutting it out.
Yeah.
And everyone else is
It's a funny scene.
We can talk about the minute of silence for.
Oh yeah, that was really funny. It's like no one could care less. Everyone just, and people start thinking about other things and kind of.
Well, at least we're not being.
Yeah, exactly. That was funny. And then we get so one of Mark's rewards for being in the inner circle is he gets to be in the library, and so the conglomeration of people is Feverstone, the Fairy, Philostrato, Strake, Frost, and the DD. And
Frost is
we
the
find
guy
out exactly studying her, although she doesn't know it yet. And then another interesting detail in this is that Mark is surprised that not only is Strake there, but they take him seriously. People aren't laughing, and people aren't making like snide glances at each other when he talks, or elbows like that, like this character. They're taking him seriously, and that gives him pause. He's thinking, this guy's a lunatic, and yet when he speaks, they're all yes, because what he's saying is the quiet part out loud. What he's saying is the actual mission of NICE. It's a religious cause, and it has nothing to do with science or a progressive element or anything like that. It is purely religion. And and he keeps vaguely talking about it. What did the Master tell us? We shall raise the dead. The Son of Man has power to judge the world, to distribute life without end. You shall see here and now. It's totally going into the transhumanist thing, that life on Earth is about to be permanent and eternal because of what we can do.
And he says something like the Son of Man, not Jesus, like the true Son of Man, which is man in its perfected form, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is
fully grown. Man himself fully grown.
He also mentioned something about the NICE taking over the monetary issue, they're we're constantly finding out more and more ways that they're behind the scenes going to be in control of things.
Yeah.
They're going to be in control of the currency.
Yep.
Yeah, just gives us a picture into the world they're trying to create.
And so then Mark, it's okay. Here's your task. The disturbances, and so he finds out that what they're doing is so he kind of is confused for a second, and they're saying we engineered them, and he's blown away by this. But she says, anyone who knows police work will tell you it's always done this way. And here we go. We need the riots because we need emergency regulations to give us emergency powers, because they're never going to give us all the powers we need just willy-nilly. So we're going to do this so that we can get, hey, looks like there's some problems here. We have this police force. We need granted emergency powers. If we can get the common people on our side, we're good to go.
And so then Mark has his second piece where he's writing about the riot.
Yeah.
He's writing it before the riots happened.
Yes.
And his actual piece on the riot, beautiful. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even take any notes on it just because it was like every single line was just.
It's perfectly. So he has two of them, right? He has one written for it. I think it's called.
The more prestigious.
Yeah,
one.
right. And then the other one for it, the more common, popular one.
Yeah.
And and the first one is very just. Oh my goodness, these terrible things happening, and the NICE is coming here, and I guess it's just we can't expect the backward man to know about progress and innovations. It's just these backwards people who want their stupid homes and their farms and are causing trouble, and we're trying to bring progress and beauty and beneficence to the world, and look where these people stand in our way, and it's It is disquieting to be forced to suspect the old distrust of planned efficiency and the old jealousy of what is ambiguously called bureaucracy can be so easily revived. These old-fashioned notions. Give me a break, We're here to bring progress. And the so-called police of the NICE, who should rather be called its sanitary executive. It's way too on the nose. And then the more popular one is, I mean, look what the Institute's doing for us. It's going to bring us so many good things. And these riots are just stupid little squalls of stupid little people. Engineered riot, but it's engineered by the backwards people, basically. The backwater, old-fashioned people. And so it's a really clever way of saying the quiet part out loud, but actually spinning it the other way.
Yeah, like the best lies have a little bit of truth.
Right. It's almost like it's recognizing that the common person is more likely to see through the BS. So if we give them a little glimpse through the curtain, they might believe that they're actually doing the whole thing.
Yeah, like they already think it's propaganda.
Exactly. Oh, so right before this, it's interesting. There's a line. Actually, we're making really good time. Look at that. I'm stunned. So, right before that, where he writes a letter where it says, "This was the first thing Mark had been asked to do, which he himself, before he did it, clearly knew to be criminal. But the moment of his consent almost escaped his notice. Certainly there was no struggle, no sense of turning a corner. There may have been a time in the world's history when such moments fully revealed their gravity, with witches prophesying on a blasted heath, or visible Rubicons to be crossed. But for him, it all slipped past in a chatter of laughter, of that intimate laughter between fellow professionals, which of all earthly powers is strongest to make men do very bad things before they are yet individually very bad men." Another absolute bar.
Yeah.
And I think what he's hitting at is there's something about it. It's not peer pressure, but it's I know what he's getting at. Yeah, when you're with a certain group of people and you want to fit in, certain things will seem acceptable or less problematic because you're part of this group and you're in the in group and the group gives their okay and you want to fit in, and so it seems like less of a problem because all these people are in on it. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, we're chilling. Whereas if you're by yourself thinking about doing it, probably less likely to.
Yeah.
That's why it's always easier to get people to do questionable things when they're in groups, because you kind of can divert blame, and it's no, we're all just doing it together.
And you can create like a false sense of propriety.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, well, look, everyone thinks you should do this.
Exactly.
Right. Whereas if you just thought about it on your own, you
right.
seem like a crazy person.
Exactly. I also like the idea too that in life, there's not always a clear Rubicon to be crossed. It's not always, if I do this, then there's going to be a problem in Rome. And if I don't, then X, Y, Z. Real life, often, the choices you make are very subtle. And you have to be careful of the ones that you're making. Because once you start making certain allowances, all of a sudden the road to perdition or the road to more extreme vices or sin becomes so much easier because you kind of just glossed over the simple stuff that was leading you there. You could think about, if I don't know what an example would be, but pick a vice, and if you allow yourself certain, this thing, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, and then, it's also not that big of a deal.
Yeah, like cheating on your wife. Like it starts.
Sure, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, we're this woman who I find attractive. Like, I'm just friends with her. Like we're just hanging out as friends. It's cheating on your wife. There's a big Rubicon.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, you're right. In situations like that, but there's also it's two things. On the one hand, there are plenty of decisions that aren't that clear cut. You have to be wary. You can't give yourself any room for slipping. On the other hand, if you do that, the cheating on your wife thing, when you get to that Rubicon, it may seem like less of a big stage if you've been doing all the small stuff to get there, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're already like booking the hotel,
yeah,
you've already crossed the Rubicon.
Exactly.
You didn't realize it.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so some more subtle insights from Lewis. So then he's written it, and he really, this is the other thing too. This goes back to not C.S. Lewis, Peterson's thing about the respective temptations of men and women, and how men have a temptation to power. We see it in Mark here, where he is enthralled with this idea of him writing these publications that will be sent to people all over the country, and that he has kind of power here to get people to read his thoughts and buy into his thoughts, and he loves that feeling.
Yeah, because he knows he would never get so many. He would never get so many readers publishing anything at Raglan College.
Right.
And he's like, on the one hand, he's like too pretentious to be a journalist.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, he's like, I'm actually doing something here.
Right. Yeah.
And he also like Lewis says this line after he finishes writing the thing, where he's like, now reading this, you might think that Mark would go back over it and be like, oh, this is horrible. But it's the exact opposite, where he goes like, man, look how polished this is.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And he's like, he doesn't really take it seriously, so he's like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm writing with my tongue in the cheek the whole time. And so it's not really it's not like I'm lying, really. Like, it's really just one big joke.
Also, what is that? Seeing it here, because usually I just think tongue in cheek, but I've never seen like with his tongue in his cheek when it's phrased out like that. What is it? Where does that come from? What does that mean?
It's just,
I know what it means, but like, what's the etymology of that phrase?
I think it's like trying to stop yourself from like laughing or smiling.
When I try not to laugh, I just go like that. I'm not like moving my tongue around.
I don't know.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Also, he really likes the idea of it. Working up late with the deadline to finish, having some booze, tie untied, waiting for the printer. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I've got responsibilities, and
I can relate to this too much. Where it's
Uh-huh.
like, there's a moment at work where one of my coworkers goes like, "Hey Miles, like, is it okay if we run this like this?"
Mhm.
And I go, "Yes, yeah, yep.
Mhm.
That should be good. I approve."
Yeah.
It's like people just forgot that I'm some college kid.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
Because I've whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so then Jane has this dream where she is I'm not really sure what the dream is. She's like, she feels this body basically, and this bearded body.
She's in the dark.
Yeah. Someone all golden and strong and warm coming with a mighty earth-shaking tread down into that black place after she feels the body. So it's probably Ransom coming in. But
The body's gotta be Merlin.
yes, yeah. And so it's kind of chaotic and weird. And then next morning she goes into town and she runs into Pincenez. Is that how you say it?
Mr. Frost.
Yeah, there we go. She runs into Frost, and in that moment, again, the feminine intuition. She reads him like a book. She knows this guy's a creep. This guy, something is wrong with this guy, and he's the one that's spying on me. This guy's evil. I'm in danger. I need help.
Yeah.
And so then she
immediately goes to St. Anne's.
Exactly. Yeah. I love this line too. She wanted to be with nice people, away from nasty people. That nursery distinction seeming at the moment more important than any later categories of good and bad or friend and enemy. She's seeking comfort.
Mm-hmm. She's like reverting to the last time she was genuine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wanting to be safe, wanting to be protected. But yeah, no, it's I'm still impressed by how he's dealing with so much, but it just feels so smooth. It's handled so deftly. Nothing seems out of place or disjointed or weird. It all just fits together.
Yeah.
He's dealing simultaneously with transhumanism and the problems of the end of the world, and also just domestic squabbles and men being men and women being women, and internal politics, the workforce, politics, business jargon. Throwing it all with his good humor and wit.
Yeah.
It just works so well.
And it's also like the Pendragon cycle too.
Yeah.
It's
right, yeah. Throwing in Merlin, yeah.
It is so effortless. Like one of my favorite sci-fi writers, Neil Stephenson, he has a very similar like scope where his books will have like 35 themes that he's tying all together. But it's very messy. And there's something almost endearing about the messiness. Like it's all kind of slapped together and it makes sense.
Sure.
But it's nowhere near as smooth as CS.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
It's actually crazy. And this is why C.S. Lewis gets a bad rap for Narnia, because it's simplistic, and maybe so. But also, I do think those books were meant for kids, so I think he can get off with that. But you cannot read this and think that he's in any way a simplistic writer. This guy is levels above most writers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
tied for greatest mind of the 20th century.
Crazy. Yeah, KP has still gotta stay in
It's
the
up there.
stay in the top tier. Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been Facts and Smiles.
I'm Max.
Miles,
Oh, dang it. And I'm Max.
and we'll be right back.
Nope.